Sutton strapped with the "you're angry." You're not angry at me. You're angry at your life. Okay? I mean, did she say anything wrong? Did she say anything untrue? When I tell y'all I'm probably going to be a part of the unpopular opinion, and it's okay because I'm used to being part of the unpopular group of people, it's all good with me. When I say that I was here for her antics, albeit the fact that, we can probably see why she might have been a little bit wrong in certain ways, and we'll get into that, but I loved it. We have to get into it. So what is going on, y'all? It's your girl, Taita B here. Welcome to my chat party. So I'm giving y'all a little holiday cheer at my party today, okay? We're doing a holiday party because I'm giving y'all the Grinch, okay? How about it? All right? The Grinch. I hope you guys are doing well, though. I appreciate all of you who will decide to stop by my party for a little bit, a lot of it, fashionably late, fashionably early, just to show some love, to hear my little thoughts, my little opinions, fun, not entirely facts about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. For those of you who will continue to join my guest list in advance, thank you so much. To those of you who will hit the dance floor, do your two-step in the comments, I appreciate you for even hitting the like button, for sharing, doing whatever it is that you do. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, okay? You already know what it is, but we have got to get into this because I must admit that I enjoyed this episode, and I hope you guys did too. So here we go, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 14, episode number 5. So, shout out to Garcelle Bouvet with her executive producing hat for the movie that she's a part of. Absolutely phenomenal work, per usual. And so we now pan over to Jennifer Tilly's house, right? And I said, not Jennifer Tilly, but the bride of Chucky doll, Tiffany, sitting up there in our faces looking fabulously scary, right? Because in a weird, odd way, she's a cute doll, but she does what she does, which what she does ain't good if you've seen the movies. But she has the audacity to be sitting up there with a glass of wine in hand. I'm like, I cannot, okay? And Jennifer reminds us that she's that girl, not just because of her adorable personality, which I told you guys I'm falling in love with, but for the fact that she lets us know that she has multiple properties, okay? Pay attention and take note. She has multiple properties, and the current one that we are seeing her in at this hour is her playhouse, okay? I'm like, who in the world calls a home that's probably worth millions of dollars a playhouse? I'm like, oh my God, well, if that's the case, girl, can I come over and play? Like, what's really going on? I said, I got to get me some super rich friends like Jennifer Tilly, okay? When I find them, I promise y'all I'll bring y'all along. I loved it. I said, and then it's the fact of it too, as we get into the money of it, how the Tiffany doll is wearing a $4,500 dress. She's a doll that is not a live doll, that is not a human, that doesn't even move. And she's wearing something that a lot of people will never be able to experience and price on her body. I cannot. All right. Loved it all. And so let me say though, I definitely scare easily. So the fact that Jennifer said once Kyle gets there that the doll moves around, and I know she means like she places her in different, still just the fact I might forget where I put her last, or even if it's like the middle of the night and you know how you just kind of be in a haze when you're somewhat half asleep still, you see that thing sitting there. Oh no, ma'am, that would not work for me. I was like, yeah, that would definitely be a nah. That Tiffany doll could not be in my crib, okay? Let me just say that. So Kyle and Sutton, they end up arriving, and Kyle shares she'll be hosting her first denim and diamonds party without Mauricio there. And at first I'm like, oh, not this diamond and denims theme. I feel like I've heard that just across the TV world a couple of times. And while I have the nerve to say that, I couldn't think of all the times, but I know for sure Real Housewives of Potomac popped in my mind because I'm like, I remember the ladies did that too. So I was like, I guess it's still a thing. Okay, cool, whatever. Now I will say I understand why Kyle feels like it's going to be, quite the experience because Mauricio's not there. And that is pretty weird, them not hosting, because we've seen them host millions of parties together. Nonetheless, the ladies get into conversation. The Dorit and Kyle of it all comes up. Meh. Then the Sutton and Dorit getting into it on the bus. And sidebar, y'all, can I say I thought that Sutton looked absolutely stunningly gorgeous in her confessional with that black on. Everything was hitting, from the way her hair was laid to her soft makeup to a little bit of cleavage, but the off the shoulder, but the dress giving class. I loved it. And we now have Erika visiting with Dorit, right? Dually, as these ladies are kind of all meeting together at different locations. And so Dorit's son Jaguar, he seems like he's such a sweetheart when it comes to his mama. I love that quick interaction that we got to see. And so Erika shares with Dorit, she can tell that Dorit doesn't feel supported in this group. And I'm like, well, who exactly is not supporting her with the exception of Garcelle? Like, what are you talking about? And let's just run it down, right? Sutton just had a whole moment with Dorit last week on the boat about how she's there for her, mixed with Kyle snotting and crying and agreeing that they'll be there for each other through their difficult time. Bose even coming in and being super friendly to Dorit off the rip and up until this point. And then Kathy checking in on Dorit all the time, to the point where we had to have this whole issue now where Kyle feels like Kathy is Dorit's new best friend and has a problem with it. So I'm like, Erika, girl, what are you talking about? Okay, but I definitely should have known something when at the same time she said she knows how it felt. So in other words, not to be supported, I guess, by these women. And I'm like, we'll get into that a little later, right? Because thankfully her therapist brings it up. But anywho's, I'm definitely giving or here for the fact of them giving Bose her props. You know, they kind of had a quick little 1-2 step conversation, Erika and Dorit, just about how fantastic Bose is. And she absolutely is. I was like, no lies told there. And so Dorit feels Sutton was being hypocritical because she raised her voice first in the sprinter. And to be honest, guys, so I must stand corrected because I just saw it actually this episode when they rolled it back. I thought that like Dorit got lit out of nowhere. Now, I still feel like Dorit needs to go somewhere and have a mental vacation because she has so much going on. And I feel like she's still taking her anger out on folks, you know, with a little bit more just energy and tone that she would. But I get it. It does seem like maybe, you know, Sutton got the octave raised first. So I was like, okay, cool. And now I said, hold on, wait, Erika. Wait. Hold on. So you said that at least you had the balls to say your comment to Kyle about Dorit, right? And this is what the whole sidebar comment that she made, like, oh, well, that's not what you said the other day. Or, you know, pretty much making it seem like the whole, you know, Dorit being friends with Teddy thing, Dorit wasn't being truthful about that. And I'm like, now, while we know that Erika ain't nobody's punk, right? We know that that statement made no sense. Because it's like, you still didn't say it, though, Erika, to the person who it was about. So while you're trying to get ballsy in this moment, it's like you should have been directing that to Dorit, not to Kyle on the side. So I'm like, whatever. It seems like she was trying to, in that moment, smooth it out with Dorit. And I'm like, okay, no, ma'am, I definitely see you right here, but not that big of a deal. And I will agree, though, that all the sidebar comments don't need to be made public. Right? And in this instance, though, I get Sutton's point because I feel like that would have been the perfect opportunity, since it was a helpful statement to their point that Dorit wasn't telling the truth, for Erika to kind of put out there. And maybe it would have been received more effectively, even more so coming from Erika, because, you know, it seems that Dorit has such adoration for Erika and considers her a good friend. I don't know, just me. And I said, hold on, though, not the antique clock going off and interrupting Sutton's point as she's right in the middle of making it. And that would throw me off too, y'all. I don't know what it is. It might be old age or something or another, where I feel like if I'm in the line of thought and somebody interrupts me, it's gone. For 9 times out of 10, it's going to be gone. So, and I'll be like, dang, what was I, like, I forgot the rest of what I was going to say. You cut me off, you know, so I totally get Sutton not being here for that. I thought that was a cute little funny moment. And so now we have Sutton just pretty much saying she's not angry with Dorit, but she still stands on how she feels about the situation. We pan over to my 2 girls linking up. This is Garcelle and Sutton. And I just live again for this all. Just Garcelle renting a U-Haul, because that was my thing too. And even then at first I'm like, oh, well, yeah, they probably going to have somebody drive it. I said, not Sutton pulling up, driving it herself and backing the thing up. I said, okay, come on, money. Come on, money, to show that she can get down and get in the U-Haul truck and do what she needs to do. She's versatile, right? And so I was here for it. And, you know, I'm like, Sutton would be the one. Now, she looked adorable in her moving outfit, but the fact that she had a Birkin hanging on her arm when she's about to go do a whole move of a situation, I'm like, Sutton would do that, okay? She probably called it her moving bag. It's nothing, right? Just little something, something. And so Garcelle's beach house, when they arrived, you guys saw what it was. I mean, just phenomenal. Every room, there's nothing I can find to say that I didn't like or almost didn't like. And it's the fact for me too that it was a rebuild of a situation and that she added on to it. Oh, just amazing. And more so living out, you know, just her dreams, knowing where she's come from and the struggles. And that's what I really appreciated too, and loved the support that Sutton was showing to Garcelle, you know, in her face, but also most importantly, and it seemed specifically in her confessional, when she was just kind of shouting her out as a true friend should, you know, about how hard she's worked to get where she's at and how she did it on her own at that. I said, let's go. Come on, y'all. DJ, shout out to all the ladies out there who have worked hard to do their own thing and get their own things. Y'all better do it. Love it. Okay. And so Garcelle brings up Dorit's robbery and says, while she doesn't believe Dorit had anything to do with it, someone did. And she was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Now, I can't even lie to y'all. I was so stumped on this. So somebody please make it make sense to me. This might be one of the moments where just my brain cells aren't catching up quick enough, or the comments went over my head like a 747. But I'm like, so what does this mean? Like, what? Because at first I'm like, well, is she implying PK? Because they were talking about PK. The PK has something to do with it. And I said, well, no, because he wouldn't set his wife and his kids up to be there while a robbery is taking place. And then while she was saying too, someone did have something to do with it. I'm like, well, sure they did. That's why the robbery happened. Like, I was just lost. Somebody help me out. Please, 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 please. Like, I'm dead serious. Make it make sense for me, okay? Hopefully we circle back around to that in the season. Maybe even at the reunion where Garcelle can give a little bit more context. I don't know. Anyway, so Erika meets with her therapist, and the moral of the story to their conversation is that Sutton triggers Erika. And we know that, right? It's pretty apparent. And I was thinking this is probably because Sutton was the main one asking questions and standing up to Erika for the most part when she was going through that whole mess and ordeal with Tom. Okay? And we got the or what? And so I was already 10 steps ahead of the game, y'all, before they showed the flashback of that scene. I promise y'all, because that will forever be embedded in my head. And so I said Erika didn't like Sutton challenging her then when she was going through, and she certainly doesn't like it now. So I think that's a forever stain on Erika's membrane. As far as the moving on, she's going to always look at her sideways because, like, how dare you challenge me in a time such as this? And so she mentions how the pizza party was thrown for Kyle in support of her, you know, potential divorce with Mauricio or separation. And I literally dropped my book in that moment. And I said, hold on, wait one goddamn minute. What? Like, what? Did she just really say that? Did she just really say that? And she did. And I feel like when we've seen this therapist in times past, she's pacified Erika. But I said, oh, thank God for this moment, for the therapist keeping it a bean and letting Erika know what we probably all were thinking, okay? Like, Erika, you pretty much brought that treatment from the ladies on yourself. All right? Like, you brought that on yourself. Like, I was just like, I know she couldn't really, well, yes, we know she could sit there stone-faced and say this. She's the stone queen. But, like, how could you really say that? Like, are you for real right now, girl? What? I'm like, maybe she wasn't aware of what she was saying. Maybe she thought it sounded good. I don't know. And we definitely get the beautiful, shining example with the footage that's rolled back of how she acted. And that was just a little tip of the iceberg. We all know what it was. And it's like, with the way you acted towards them and the victims, girl, no, you weren't going to get the support that you thought you ought to get. What? Now, had you played that a different way? Absolutely. So anyways, now we're at Kyle's party, right? It's underway, and Camille Grammer arrives. And I'm like, how do we feel about Camille, y'all? Because I don't really know Camille like that. I've seen her here, there, and I feel like maybe just in passing, is she the one, and please correct me if I'm wrong, who had the husband that would act really ugly towards her? And then he ended up offing himself. Was that the same situation? I don't know, but I feel like maybe. But what's the overall feel about Camille? I mean, so before we even get deeper into the party, I just love the little sidebar that they gave. Another DJ shout out to Bose, and the fact that she takes her daughter wherever her daughter wants to go every year for her birthday. I said, yes, God, please. I mean, that's how life should be lived, okay? And Garcelle, back to the party, shares with Sutton that PK texts Kyle. And Sutton shares that Kyle told her that Dorit does know that he reaches out to her. And Garcelle was on some, that's cute or whatever, but couldn't be me. Doesn't work for me. And I'm like, Garcelle, girl, I feel you 1,000%, because that wouldn't work for me either. And I just think it's out of order, it's not appropriate. And Sutton says Kyle probably feels closer to PK since her and Dorit hadn't really talked in months, maybe as justification as to why it's okay for them to kind of be reaching out, or her responding to him when he reaches out or whatever. But I'm like, that still would be unacceptable to me. Y'all let me know. Okay. And at first I was even thinking maybe it depends on the context of the conversation that they're having, if it's kind of light and airy. But I'm like, not even, sir, get lost texting me. We'll chat when I see you in passing in the streets, and I just, again, agree with Garcelle wholeheartedly, because it's like, once the dynamic shifts with all of us, then everything else shifts. Like you can't have that kind of access to me one-on-one. It's just weird. Like, it's not supposed to be. And so can I say too, I don't know what made me think, y'all, with the whole tattoo situation of it all, that these were fake tattoos. Again, my mind was just gone, but actual tattoo artists there to, do the real deal Holyfield. And so I like how Garcelle decided to get 1111 on her wrist. When I tell y'all, I see those numbers a lot. I've seen them a lot in the past couple of years. I'll also see 111, like the time, and I also see 555. So with that being said, who knows what it all really means at the end of the day in my life, but I mean, I guess maybe it's not such a bad thing. I don't know. And to admit to y'all, truly and honestly, even today, I saw 1111. And I was like, and it's one of those things where you don't go looking for it, right? It's not like I sit in the clock like, oh, right now it's 11:10. I know it's about to switch to 11:11. No, it's like you will be in a whole different space, whatever. And then bam, it just smacks you in your face. You happen to look at the clock, it's the time. Or you happen to go somewhere, you'll see 11:11. So it's crazy to me. So I definitely get, her connection with that and whatnot. And so now we have Bose, who walks over to Dorit and Erika sitting on the couch. And she's checking in with Erika. And I'm like, again, to my point earlier, where Dorit allegedly doesn't have this support, Bose is checking in with Dorit to see how she's feeling. And I appreciate Bose's stance that, contrary to Sutton's point of always laying everything out on the table, everything's not always for everybody. True indeed, right? But like I said, it just depends on the situation. Some things probably should be brought to the forefront. And so the ladies all reconvene where Sutton, Dorit, and Bose were sitting. And Sutton go ahead and she gets the party started. And so she gets into the whole sisterhood convo of it all. And while I understand, Erika's confessional that she's not really here for these continued conversations about the sisterhood, I'm like, girl, you could use a little insert into sisterhood issues of it all, because you're the same one who was just telling the therapist that they weren't there for you really as a sisterhood through your divorce and giving you the support that you needed. So I'm like, you had an issue with the sisters not being there. So you too, my dear, have some sister issues, and therefore the conversations must continue. Thanks, okay? And so she then tells Sutton that Sutton is volatile. Okay? And I completely at first disagreed with that. I'm like, no, just automatic off the phone. I'm like, no, she's not. Okay? And I'm like, at times things can come out of her mouth, sure, that are a little sideways, but volatile, no. And I just even had a sidebar thought, y'all remember that time she told Crystal, like they got into it? Who were they? Were they at Lisa Rinna's house? I can't remember. I know they were out in the backyard and she stormed off after getting into it with Crystal and turned around and told Crystal that's why her pants, and we thought she was going to say something so just groundbreaking, like, oh God, please, you're going to regret it. Her pants were so ugly. I was like, son, you be off the chain. But I guess that was even to their point how she could be volatile, right? And we'll get into it, right? But even before I kind of really thought about it more, just in the moment of me getting it as they're saying it, what changed the dynamic even that quickly for me was when Jennifer Tilly in her confessional said that while Erika's connotation kind of came across negative when she said it, she still does agree that Sutton can be volatile. And I was like, for real? Jennifer saying this? And at this point, Jennifer's credibility with me, I mean, I don't know her, but we're good, okay? And it's the fact, too, that her and Sutton are such close friends, so she does know her friend. And I was like, ooh. I said, you know what, on that note, let me go ahead and look up the definition of volatile, right? I had to go to Merriam-Webster. And so what I got was characterized by or subject to rapid or unexpected change. Explosive. Easily aroused. And I was like, oh, okay, well, there it goes right there. I mean, I always thought it meant like evil or violent. And, you know, she's not that, but easily aroused, yeah. And even in this episode, we get some pretty proud examples of that in that particular scene, might I even add. And so I was back with Sutton, though, when she said, you know how many times I've not been in a place where I appreciated people yelling at me? Because then you got Dorit first playing the whole victim card about, oh, I don't appreciate people using their tone with me, yada, yada, yada. Okay, great. Or raising their voices, whatever she said. And Sutton's right, because we witnessed it, right? In past seasons, Erika, Dorit, particularly Kyle, being all type of crazies with Sutton shouting or yelling in her face and whatnot. I mean, come on, let's get real. Okay? Disrespectful at times, all of that. And while the see you next Tuesday word is on the table, as we're about to get into that, didn't one of them even call her see you next Tuesday? Was it Erika? Anyway, so I definitely chuckled at Sutton going back to her normal voice when she was kind of all rowdy. And she's like, all right, I'm going to talk to you in my normal tone. I said, come on, Sutton, not the passive aggressiveness, but let's do it. I'm here for it. It's Dorit. I mean, come on. And so Sutton hits us with that line again, you know, about you're not, you know, you're angry, but you're not angry at me, yada, yada, yada. And Bose calls Sutton out for weaponizing, you know, that in that moment against Dorit. And I agree, right? That comment, that definitely does make sense. Maybe Bose is all the way right on that, right? We'll say she is right. But I still feel like it was true. Okay? And I'm like, could it have been that maybe she should have said it softer so it could land better? Because it's a fact. Okay? Like, that's what she's giving. She's giving, like, again, let me throw everything I feel for you and this, that, and the third and some other things in between on top of you because I'm pissed as hell because of what's happening in my life. That's what people tend to do. What's the saying? Hurting people hurt other people. She's hurting and Sutton's not her favorite, so that's an easy target for her. So I'm like, come on now. And even Kyle agreed in her confessional. I mean, yeah, she was like, oh, I wouldn't say it, but I'm thinking it. I'm sure a lot of them were. So I'm like, come on, let's get real. But okay. So Camille interjects and shares she went through some things, but didn't receive any sympathy from Dorit, right? And to which Dorit replies, oh, honey, you were a complete see you next Tuesday to me. And I said, okay, now who's getting volatile? Okay, let's add Dorit to that list. And Dorit's behavior to me is giving Erika part 2. Like when Erika went through what she went through, because I feel like now you're thinking you have a pass just because you're going through to say whatever you want to say, act however you want to act. And then once the season goes on and you finally get into a better space, you're gonna blame it all on that. Oh well, it was what I was going through. Again, y'all, I would never agree with that. But I can understand, I don't agree. And I just don't think that it's right. I feel like if anything, I'd rather you step away and take some time to yourself before you get up here and act crazy and really ruin relationships and burn bridges or whatever. And this just makes me really feel no empathy for Dorit at a time where I should. I just don't, just like I did with Erika. But Sutton, at the same time, you can't just do what you did and then turn around and put on the table, but I'm still here for you. I said, no, no, Sutton. The two at this moment, they don't mix. You just went from high to low, like, you're giving them what they're looking for. You're giving them their points on that. So like, what are we doing here? I said you gave all them theatrics and that energy, and now this. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it, but again, you can't do that. Okay. And then what else, y'all? I think so that was pretty much it, right? And I said, did y'all peep the cowgirl stare down between Dorit and Sutton at the end? I was like, okay. So, anyways, y'all, just a mess, a whole entire mess. These ladies are, but I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it. Y'all have to let me know what you think. The music is on. The dance floor is lit. Don't be no prude and hold up that wall. Get down. Let me know your thoughts. Do your two-step, do your spins, do all that. I want to know what you're thinking. Do you agree and say you were here for Sutton and that Dorit is just mad and taking it out on Sutton? We know there's a deeper issue, but, are they really capable of being in a good place and space with one another? Genuinely, seriously doubt it. I don't think they've ever been. And I think Dorit kind of made that point in this episode anyway. They've never really gotten into that true connected level of friendship, And again, like I said, I don't think it's a thing that's going to happen. So y'all let me know what you think, all right? So I hope this video put y'all in good spirits somehow or another. And if not, then I'll try again next week, okay? So until then, y'all stay up, y'all stay blessed, and I'm out. Peace.